Hey guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Esther and I'll be teaching you guys how to draft a basic pattern for a short. If this is your first time of seeing my channel, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate that. But please ensure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and you leave your notification bell turned on so you can always get notified each time I upload new videos. So if this tutorial is one you are interested in, please join me while we get started. Okay, so before we start drafting, let's get our crouch depth. You can get it by sitting in this position and taking the measurement from the waist down to the bottom part, or you can as well do your hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch. Both works. So going to the crouch extension, for you to get your crouch extension for the front and back, you can use these formulas. I got this from somewhere online and it worked perfectly well for me. But apart from that, there's still another way you can actually get your crouch extension, and we'll get to know that while we drafting our pattern. Okay, so we're going to start drafting our pattern, and we're going to start by drawing a straight line. This straight line is just to ensure that I have a very straight line that is accurate for my measurements. And then I'm going to come up and take a measurement of 2 inches below. This 2 inches I'm taking is for the band because my short is going to have a band. You can actually use 1.5 or 2.5 depending on how wide you want your band to be. So after drawing the straight line, I'm going to take the other measurement and I'm going to make sure that I start from that waistline to take the measurement. So I'm going to take the crouch depth, which is 11 inches where I'm marking, and then the full length I'm using 17 inches for it. So I'm going to mark that point and draw a straight line for it. I'm going to do that on the other side to ensure I get a straight line on both sides. Okay, so at this point I'm going to take my hip measurement. That is the length of the hip from the waist, which is 9 inches. So I'm going to be marking that 9 inches from there and ruling a straight line to indicate it. Then I'm going to take the round hip measurement divided by 4, which is 42 divided by 4 is giving me 10.5 inches. So I'm going to mark that on the crouch depth line, and then I'm going to rule a straight line from the waist, from the band to the crouch depth line. So I'm going to go ahead and label it the hip line, the crouch depth line, the waist line, and then the full length. So at this point I'm going to go ahead and get the crouch extension. For me to get the crouch extension, like I said before, I used those formula which I got the front crouch extension to be 2.7. But the other way you can actually do this is to just divide whatever you have on that half hip line by 4, like the way I did it. You can use your tape and then fold it just the way I did to get your crouch extension. So I went ahead to mark that point, which is 2.7. I marked it there, and I'm going to come to the crouch depth line. Going to come from the center by 1 inch, and I'm going to connect it with my pattern ruler to create a curve connecting to the 1 inch from the center and to the 2.7 I marked at the crouch depth, all together to give me that curve. So after that, I'm going to come to the waistline from the band region and measure my waist measurement, my round waist measurement divided by 4, of which I'm using 32 divided by 4, which is 8 inches. So I'm going to mark that the line I from the line I connected from the band waist to the crouch depth. I'm going to mark that, and then I'm going to add 1 inch for that. So instead of using 8 inches, I'm using 9 inches, and I'm going to do that because I want to use 1 inch for the dart. So from the center of it, I'm going to rule a straight line, which I'm going to go down by 3 inches. I do not want to use too much dart. I don't want the dart length to be so much, so I'm only working with 3 inches. And by doing this, I just rule a straight line and then measure half an inch on both sides from the line and then connect them together like this. So I have my darts. Okay, after that, I'm going to be taking the thigh measurement, which I came down by 3.5 inches from the crouch depth. You can actually come down by 4 inches 3 inches or 4.5. That is depending on how chubby the person is, but I'm working with 3.5 inches. And then I rule the straight line. So I'm going to divide my thigh measurement by 2. I'm using 24, and dividing it by 2 is giving me 12 inches. So I'm going to be working with 12 inches for my thigh measurement. I'm going to now go ahead and connect the point where I have my crouch depth, that is the extension, the crouch extension, to the 12 inches point on the thigh. I'm going to connect them together. So I'm going to go to my full length measurement and divide the full length by 2 as well. So after dividing it by 2, I'm going to also connect it from the thigh to it as well. So after that, I have this is my front pattern for the short. Yeah, this is my front pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Okay, after cutting, we're going to come to the waist and take 0.5 inch below from the waist, and then we're going to connect that to the end of the waist. And after doing that, we're going to cut it out. This is just to get that shape, because we do not have a waist that is straight. It has a shape, so we are doing this to achieve that. Okay, now we're going to draft the pattern for the back. Just like we did for the front, I'm going to draw a straight line. This is to ensure that I have an accurate line for my measurements. So I'm going to come to the top like I did before to take a measurement of 2 inches below. I'm going to mark 2 inches below from the start and draw a straight line. This is for the band. Then after drawing a straight line there, I'm going to start taking my measurement from that line. So I'm going to mark the point for my crouch depth. I'm going to also mark the point for my hip measurement, which the hip measurement I used 9, the crouch depth I'm using 11, and then the full length is 17. So this paper is already on 17 inches, so at the end of the paper is going to be the full length measurements. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw a straight line for all of them. Then now I'm going to go ahead to take my hip measurement divided by 4, which is 10.5 inches, and then I'm going to connect them from the waistline down to the crouch depth. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and label them just like I did for the front pattern. So now it's time for me to draw my crouch extension, and based on the formula we used, my crouch extension is 4.5. So I realized the paper was not enough, so I just went ahead to add more paper to it. So at this point, I needed to extend the crouch depth line for it to be enough for me to put the measurement for the crouch depth, which is 4.5. So at this point, I went ahead to put the point and marked it there. Then I came in from the middle by 1 inch, and then I connected it with my curve from the hip line to the crouch extension. So while doing this, I realized that the 1 inches from the middle was not really necessary, so I just went ahead to connect them together like so. Okay, so I'm gonna take the waist measurement. So I'm gonna come to the top and measure 9 inches, which is my hip measurement divided by 4, which is 32 divided by 4, that is 8, plus 1 inches for that. So I'm going to connect it from the waist line to the hip like so, and then I'm going to take the midpoint of the waist. I'm going to come to the middle and then take a measurement of 4 inches, as I'm going to come down by 4 inches, mark it there, and rule a straight line connecting them together. Then after doing this, I'm going to take 0.5 inch from both sides and connect them to the point where I marked it before. So at this point, I'm going to use my marker to make it visible for us to see it properly. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to be taking the thigh measurement. I'm going to come down from my crouch depth by 3.5 inches, just like I did for the front pattern, and I'm going to draw a straight line to connect them together. Okay, so after drawing a straight line, I'm going to label it the tie line. Then I'm going to take the measurement for the tie, and I'm going to connect it from the crouch extension to the point of the tie. Okay guys, I'm so sorry, I just realized that I made a mistake. Okay, I realized that I did something wrong. Not actually wrong, but I wanted to add half an inch to my tie measurement. I used 12 inches. I was supposed to add 0.5 inches. I intentionally wanted to add that, but I forgot to do that and I used the wrong measurement. So that's why I made a mistake. So when you're actually using your own, make sure you use the right measurement so you don't make a mistake. Okay, so I actually indicated that it was a mistake by putting some tiny strokes on it for you to know that that's the wrong pattern. So doing that, I have connected the crouch extension to the full length, and that's the correct measurement. So from the top part, that is the waistline, I came up by 1.5 inches, and then I connected it to the waistline just like I did there. So at this point we are done with the drafting of the back pattern, and we'll go ahead and cut it out. Okay guys, we have come to the end of this tutorial. I hope you found this tutorial very helpful. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment and share. Also subscribe to our channel so you can always be one of those persons who gets notified whenever we upload new videos. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.